The true meaning of faith acceptance and practice.
Hello and welcome to our in-depth discussion. Today, we are going to take a close look at the material you've prepared regarding sincere belief, acceptance, and practice. The document starts with a question I find quite interesting. Does merely chanting scriptures and making vows with your mouth count as truly believing, accepting, and practicing? Or is it more like the little monk chanting scriptures without a sincere heart that the text mentions? So, our goal today is to uncover what the material considers to be true sincere belief, acceptance, and practice. Going beyond the literal meaning to grasp its deeper definition, let's dive into the details. The document first discusses sincere belief. It states that true belief must be built upon knowing. This is crucial. You can't believe in something you don't even know what it is. For example, the text gives an analogy. If someone tells you that liao isn't frog legs, it's hard to genuinely believe it tastes good until you've actually tasted it and know what it's like. This point highlights the connection between understanding, comprehension, and authentic conviction. The document then asks, if you don't even know, what are you believing in? Believing in an unknown seems incorrect and probably not what the Buddhist scriptures originally intended. Similarly, the material also mentions making vows. If you're not even clear about the content of the vow you're making, doesn't that vow amount to vowing for something you don't know? That sounds strange. The document goes on to make another key point. The focus of faith shouldn't just be on the outward appearance of a teacher. Why? Because the material suggests that the teacher's appearance might simply be a reflection of the student's own state. Therefore, what we should truly believe in is something more fundamental, like the Buddha's teachings themselves. This includes the law of cause and effect, such as the 10 wholesome actions: not killing, not stealing, and so on. These are the behavioral principles and the karmic relationships behind them. The document directly asks, do you believe in this? That is the real point. Next, let's talk about acceptance. This part gets even more interesting. The document introduces a key term, feeling and perception. It's not enough to just understand a principle with your brain. To truly accept it, you need a personal feeling and experience. You need to taste the flavor. So, how do you cultivate this feeling and perception? I found the methods mentioned in the material to be quite profound. For example, to experience the suffering of killing, it suggests simulating self-harm, like lightly cutting yourself with a knife every day to feel the pain. Then, you can extrapolate this to the immense suffering other beings endure when they are killed. It also reminds us that the karmic retribution for this action will be amplified many times over in the future. Just imagining this is painful. To understand the suffering of stealing, you're asked to imagine your most cherished possessions being stolen repeatedly, experiencing that gut-wrenching feeling of loss and heartache. Similarly, for lust, you are asked to repeatedly feel the various troubles and pains it brings, using this to generate a sense of renunciation for things that can't be experienced firsthand, like the Buddhist scriptures' account of a tree deity who can conjure treasures from their hand to give as alms. You must repeatedly visualize and rehearse the scene in your mind. This is a way of forcing a connection and feeling to be established within the heart. The core concept here seems to be transforming abstract principles into real experiences that the body and the mind can feel. With this kind of unforgettable feeling and perception, practicing such as not killing or stealing becomes firm and steadfast. It makes it easier to uphold these precepts, and you're less likely to be swayed by threats or temptations because you've already profoundly tasted the consequences. You know the suffering, so you don't want to touch it. So, what does this entire framework mean for us? According to the material we've examined today, true sincere belief, acceptance, and practice is far more than just saying the words or intellectually understanding them. It requires clear knowledge, but more importantly, it requires using certain methods, whether direct or indirect, to profoundly feel the reality of the teaching. This is the crucial feeling and perception. When we look at this from a broader perspective, It highlights a completely different level between intellectual agreement and a conviction that is deeply rooted in your body and mind. One is thinking it through, the other is the whole person believing it. For those who hope to truly transform their lives through learning, it is clearly the latter, the conviction with feeling and embodiment, that plays a key role. Finally, we'll leave you with a question to ponder. This document spent a lot of time emphasizing the need to feel the negative consequences, such as pain and loss, to build the resolve not to do bad things. What if we were to cultivate and profoundly feel the feeling and perception that comes from positive actions? For example, the lightness and joy after giving alms, the warmth of helping others, the satisfaction of assisting someone, or the peace you feel in your heart from not harming other beings. Could this approach be just as, or even more, effective in strengthening our belief and practice? This is an excellent point for reflection. Can positive feeling and perception achieve the same or even better results? It's something for us to think about.